These were trans Native Americans.
Yes.
Okay. I think what you're saying is that they probably found some that they thought that they had different spirits, because we know that Native Americans were incredibly spiritual. There's no question about that.
Are you not spiritual? You believe in God?
I do believe in God. Yes.
So
that doesn't make me believe in trans people. That doesn't make me believe that you can switch your parts. I don't believe they were performing surgeries. And you can let me know.
Pregnant Candace go hard, bro. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, this shirt is going off the chain. People are just buying so many of them. I think once we get past a certain point, I would consider some of the proceeds going to support the International Fellowship of Christian and Jews. And maybe, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it on this video. All of the sales, not all of them, but because we got expenses, but proceeds from this particular sale special is going to go towards the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. We're going to give one-time donation on the behalf of people who buy the shirt. So if you buy this shirt, I'll give you a discount too. So put in discount code DEUT. It stands for Deuteronomy, DEUT64. It's going to pop up on the screen. If you put in a discount, you'll get 25% off, and then we'll give proceeds from only the people who purchase with this discount code, this particular shirt during this time. We'll give some proceeds to the International Fellowship of Christian and Jews. We already had a fundraiser for them. We're raising money for them now because they're doing an incredible work in Israel, and I'm going to use proceeds from this, plus proceeds that my family want to support too as well, and we're going to give it to that particular campaign. And I'll let you guys know after we do the sale. It's to be a 24-hour sale. I'll let you guys know how much, and then you'll see, we'll put it on the screen how much we donated. All right. Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notification. Anytime I go live, I make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. All the links in the description section in case you forgot. Candace Owens is kicking a butt. She's pregnant. I think she's due pretty soon. And she's going all around the country doing a tour and whooping these people into submission. And it's not whooping people into submission because she's so mean to people. It's like the common sense factor is just lost with the sauce. I don't know why. Listen, you see Candace Owens on the agenda. Either some fool told you that she bad for business and you dumb enough not to do your research and you go to this thing unprepared. What are y'all thinking? Do you not know who Candace Owens is? Just go to Candace Owens and look up some content before you come ask a stupid question and get mold. Look at Candace Owens first, because you ain't gonna be able to just say anything, and she gonna whoop you into submission with words. All right, since y'all don't believe me, watch these kids take this L real quick. Roll the clip.
Hi, I'm wondering, there are dozens of words for two-spirited people, people that would now be considered LGBTQ or trans people in the native languages. So I'd like to know how, as these people have existed for thousands of years before you were alive or anyone else in this room was alive, and before anyone even colonized America, if trans people were around then, I'm just wondering why you think it is that trans people are only here now because the media is telling people these things.
Well, do you think it's weird that I graduated with 0 trans people? Do you think, what do you think has contributed to the explosion of transgender people from the time that I was in high school? I'll ask you a question back. If this was just a natural thing, and I don't know what you're talking about with two-spirit people, is this like a Native American tribe, like high, smoking, and talking about your spirit? I'm asking you seriously, because when I think of Native American tribes talking about their spirits, I know that they used to smoke a lot, they used to do drugs, they also were cannibals who used to eat people, so I don't know if we should be taking our cues from cannibals. But
I think
can you
that's
explain
kind
to me
of
what
ridiculous.
two-spirit is in the history?
They're people that would now be considered trans people, people that did not feel that they fit
What
the
part,
binary
though?
gender.
Native Americans? I'm asking you.
Yes, I'm telling you that not only in one Native American tribe, but in multiple tribes, there were dozens of terms that referred to people that would now be considered trans, and that was hundreds of years ago. So I'm just wondering why you think that people are only trans now because the media is telling them to be.
Well, I told you, because of the proliferation. So you can't just go from having 0% to suddenly 25%
Right, but what
of
I'm
people.
saying is that these people were around for thousands of years.
Well, what you're saying is that some Native American tribes had people that would be considered trans today, something that we can't fact check because they're dead.
It's
right?
historical knowledge.
It's historical knowledge that there were trans Native Americans.
Yes.
I really don't think that's historical knowledge, but here's what I'll answer.
This is the way she be saying it. She said, I don't know why the combination of trans Native Americans was funny to me, but Candace like, there's no confirmation. Trans Native Americans, like, get out of here.
I don't think that there were trans Native Americans.
So if you could educate yourself a little more, you would know that.
Okay,
as well.
I will educate myself. I will educate myself on the trans Native Americans that were running around America. But here's what I'll say: Native Americans were also cannibals. Did you know that fact? Did you educate yourself on the fact?
All Native Americans were
so
cannibals?
should we just assume that it's natural for us to?
That girl is so stupid. I can't. These people irritate the living daylights out of me. So she just made a generalization that said Native Americans would have been trans today. Obviously not all, but she made it seem like all. Candace said Native Americans were cannibals too. She go, well, not all? You trying to say all? Well, you refer to as if it was all Native Americans who are two-spirit. These people, see, listen, Candace probably haven't looked this up because it's completely stupid. Watch if we look this up. I can look this up. I'll look it up at another time. I'll look it up at where this kind of theology came from, and I guarantee you it has nothing to do with trans people today. It has nothing to do with that. You talking about two spirits and they envision themselves as male and female. They probably doing that in a spirit realm. There is no way in the world that Native Americans were saying, you're a woman and I'm going to dress like a woman. They couldn't cut their penis off. They couldn't make a new penis. What are y'all even talking about? They couldn't take hormones. The trans people today is nowhere near trans people in the past. You can't even make the comparison because you lying son of a guns. Listen, people back then, if they were trans, they had to feel like they couldn't look like a woman. They couldn't sound like a woman. They had to be dudes that wanted to be women. I mean, that looked like dudes, hairy arms and all that other stuff. They couldn't transition to women. They wouldn't look like, they wouldn't act like, they wouldn't talk like, they couldn't take hormones. Now, if y'all really want to say the trans people existed then would be trans today, then why trans people take hormones then? Why can't you just be a trans man and just look like a man, wear a beard and everything, but you identify as a woman? Why can't you do that then? If y'all want to invoke the spirits of the ancestors, then you know they didn't take hormones. So why y'all taking hormones? It speaks to the proliferation of this new idea of changing your gender that could not have existed in antiquity. It couldn't have. It couldn't have. They weren't wearing makeup and girls weren't cute back then. They weren't cute. Their arms was hairy. They had hairy legs. They didn't have no makeup on like y'all fool fake up all day. They didn't do that. All right, let me go on. Let me move on.
Be eating humans because Native Americans were cannibals?
I really think that don't apply to what I'm asking at all.
It exactly applies to what you're asking. You're saying that you found a piece of historical knowledge, which I would genuinely love to fact check, that there were trans Native
names?
Americans of their trans names. Yes.
Lozen, Datese, Haskinkla, Oshtish, Wehwa.
These were trans Native Americans.
Yes.
Okay. I think what you're saying is that they probably found some that they thought that they had different spirits, because we know that Native Americans were incredibly spiritual. There's no question about that.
Which spiritual? You believe in God?
I do believe in God. Yes.
So
that doesn't make me believe in trans people. That doesn't make me believe that you can switch your parts. I don't believe they were performing surgeries. And you can let me know, but I don't believe that in Native American history they were performing surgeries trying to switch their genitals because they thought that they were born in the wrong body.
There were people that felt that they didn't belong in the binary genders that we have.
Okay, so you're talking about somebody in the history of Native American history had a feeling that they were, and now you're saying that they're trans.
I'm just saying, I don't think you're really addressing what I'm asking. I'm saying that
I think I've addressed it like 20 times, and you're just not wanting to hear it because you want to believe that there were trans Native Americans that were chopping off their genitals. They weren't. But I'm, again, happy to educate myself and explore it. Maybe there was a Native American that was chopping off genitals. happen to have in my family Native American history, never heard of it, but I'm definitely happy to dive into it. I think what you're probably facing is a rewrite of history where they're taking something that was just an idea of a spiritual idea where people, we see this today, who take ayahuasca, they have a trip, they go back, they say that they realize they were a man in a prior life. This is very common when people take drugs, which the Native Americans did. But again, they weren't chopping their dicks off. So no, this is a different thing that we're dealing with here.
Candace be going on. Let me just touch on this because I got to get on the radio probably here soon. But this is what they do. They try to go back and reinvent history to match the foolery that they do today. There is no connection between trans people then and trans people today. And they claim that they're trans. Somebody can say, I feel like I'm outside of the male-female spectrum. That does not make you a trans person. That don't make you trans. Just because you feel like I don't identify with this, they don't make you trans. And if you're outside of the binary, then how are you going to be trans anyway? Trans what? In America, there's only two things you can be, trans male or trans female. That's a binary religion. I mean, that's a binary doggone sex. And then they go, I'm it. Well, you can't transition to it. That's the thing that kills me about this. You're a man. The only thing you can transition to is a man is transition to a woman. And then people say it's more than one. It's more than two genders. Well, why can't you transition to another gender outside of male and female? You only transition these two. There's nothing else. There's no trans, nothing else but trans woman, trans man. You don't transition to a third gender, do you? What? Show me the trans third gender person. It don't even exist. You know, and I can go down this thing 100 years. Everybody know it's bull crap, man. People just want to justify what they doing. That's all it is, man. Just like Christians, just like Jewish people, just like Muslims, like everybody want to justify what they want to do, and they'll go find evidence and material to back it up. People want to sleep with people underage, and they make some adjustment called minor attracted persons, and this person's mentally ill, and they make excuses for them. Some dude want to have, because a dude is horny, and he want to have 7 wives because he don't want to just have sex with one woman, then somehow that's some spiritual calling for him to be in a I don't know what they call it. I forget what they call it. Polygamy. Now you just horny, bro. God ain't called you to be with that many women because you ain't treating them right. You can barely treat one right. You gonna treat 6 right? And you're smashing all of them, and you're taking turns every night. You go look at how people live in a polygamous relationship, and it's just horny men because they won't let a woman be polygamous. They won't let a woman be polygamous. And I know the argument is that, you know, a man can have kids by multiple women, and one woman can only have one kid at a time. But still, why not? Why can't she be polygamous? Why can't she have different men's having kids with her? But y'all nasty. Y'all ain't having kids every time you bumping and grinding. You just want multiple women. And then they keep adding on to women. They get tired of the 5, they get a 6th one. They get tired, they get a 7th one. It's all sexual perversion. But the people want to articulate and make their excuses about why they doing it. People want to use drugs. People want to cheat on their wives. People want to do all this other stuff, but they want to make excuses. Oh, it's a mental illness. It's an illness to be on drugs. No, it's not. You made poor choices. Nobody told you to smoke crack. You've been seeing people cracked out and zombied for your whole life. Nobody should want to smoke crack. So if you want to smoke crack, you're making the decision to smoke crack. And nobody made you do it. Most of y'all is just crack addicts. You're not ill. It's a person's illness. He's suffering from it. Not that he's a crackhead. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be that crackhead. He wanted that crack. He wanted that meth or whatever they doing. Quit trying to make excuses for these people. Anyway, I'm finna get off here. I got to get on the radio. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out.